The story of a mother who watched her son's first night. There were big houses around our bungalow. People who ate and drank well lived in all these houses. I had started looking for a relationship for my son Kamal Haider. What could be more happy for a widowed mother than the marriage of her only son? I had thoroughly investigated the surrounding houses. I liked one family very much. The girl was an only child. The father was a retired army officer and the mother was the headmaster of a government school. Whatever they had was for their only daughter. I expected a large dowry from them. Apart from the dowry, I also hoped that even after marriage, her parents would not give up on their only daughter. When I brought up the subject of the relationship, she said Bismillah in front of me. I had given this girl a ring with Kamal's name on it. I had seen many dreams of my son's marriage. I was sitting with many wishes in my heart. But perhaps this happiness was not written in my destiny. Kamal knew that I had chosen a girl for him. So I had also put a ring with my son's name on his finger, but Kamal did not listen to me at all. One day, Kamal brought a girl with him and told me, "Mom, this is your daughter-in-law." This was unbearable for me. How could this happen? My son had broken his engagement for this girl. Kamal said very boldly, "Mom, I like her. She used to live in our old neighborhood. She is Mirza Sahib's daughter, Amna. I knew very well that you wanted to marry me somewhere else. I also knew that you would not agree to this relationship. That is why I had to do a court marriage. Now I hope that you will accept my wife with an open heart." I was left in a state of shock. Miratoji wanted to beat his chest. Kamal's intellect was clouded by the fact that he would not marry Mirza's daughter. There was no dowry. But now I had only two options left. Either I would openly oppose my new daughter-in-law and kill my son with my own hands, or I would play a trick to get my son. I thought of getting my son, and this was possible only when I accepted my daughter-in-law with an open heart. I accepted my daughter-in-law in front of my son. I hugged her and told her that I had chosen a girl for my son, but since my son likes you, from today I also like you. My son Kamal was very embarrassed. He folded his hands and apologized to me and said, "Mom, I am very ashamed because I did not include you in the greatest happiness of my life." I told my son, "Don't worry, your happiness is my happiness." Then Kamal told his wife Amina in front of me that she is my mother, my whole universe, and I will not listen to any complaints about you from my mother's mouth. Amina had promised Kamal that from today your mother is my mother. I laughed in my heart. I thought, Amina Bibi, now you will taste the joy of your new mother. I had thought that I would make Amina's life difficult, make her so miserable that she would leave my Kamal and go away. After that, I would get my son married of my own free will. I spent a week just praising Amina. I also praised Amina a lot in front of my son. I used to tell her that you like gold. When Kamal and Amina became carefree towards me, I started my own business. Now I kept Amina busy with work all day long. I would take her out of work and make her half-hearted till evening. When Kamal returned home, he would be very unhappy to see his boring, lazy wife. But I enjoyed this very much. I used to invite any of my relatives, even if it was someone else's invitation. I used to make Amina big dishes of curry and rice. She never disobeyed my orders. But I noticed one thing. Amina used to go to the toilet all day long with excuses. I wondered why she did that. I asked her why she went to the toilet intermittently, all day long. She said, "Mummy, my husband gets nervous, so I go to the toilet to breathe in the open air. I believed Amina's words. I also did not stop Amina from that day. She kept getting the work done all day long without caring about her condition, but I had noticed one thing, that she would leave the work unfinished and run to the roof. She did this many times a day. Now I suspected it. I felt that she would do everything to avoid work. I had now decided in my heart that if Amina did such a thing again, I would also go to the roof after her. I asked Amina to clean the house, but she left the cleaning unfinished and ran to the courtyard. I also tried to follow her. Amina knew that I had a knee problem and was unable to climb the dead body. Therefore, she would go to the toilet and rest for hours. I climbed the stairs with great difficulty and went to the toilet. Seeing this, Mir Adil was shocked that Amina was pointing at the toilet in front of her. As soon as her eyes fell on me, she quickly ran away. I had only seen her running away, so I did not know who she was. Amina had not seen me, so I came down secretly. I did not mention this to Amina. I was very sad that my son had rejected my wishes and married a wicked girl. I had thought that I would tell Kamal this only when the right time came. Right now, the ghost of his wife's love was hanging over his head. Even Mir H would think it was a lie. I tried everything possible to make Amina get tired of these circumstances, but there was no way that this girl could do anything. I also saw wrinkles on her face. I thought of a new plan. I slowly wanted to make Kamal think badly of Amna. It was the beginning of the month. Kamal brought his entire salary and placed it in my hand. I handed the money to Amna right in front of Kamal and told her to go and put it under my pillow. The next morning, before Kamal left for the office, I made a noise. I asked Amna, where did the drinks I gave you yesterday go? She came home and said, Mom, you kept them under your pillow. I said, if you had kept them under your pillow, bring them to me. She quickly went to my room. She searched my entire bed, but if there was money there, she would have found it. When she came out, the worry in her eyes was clear. She said, Mom, I forgot to put your money under my bed yesterday. It is lying with me. Then she went to her room and took out the money from her cupboard and gave it to me. I was so surprised. I was so surprised that she gave it to me like that. Why did he do that, Jatkalaga? Because I had the money with me. Amina had put it under my bed. I took all the money from Amina. That's how much I realized that Amina had fought very hard. I had to think of another solution. But by then Amina had told me the good news of becoming a grandmother. Upon hearing this news, my heart was overjoyed that a little Kamal would come to my house, but when I thought of Amina, my heart was bitter. I did not want to see Amina's child in my house under any circumstances. I had planned to end Amina's child. I was very sad while harming her life, but I thought that Mir Akmal was safe and Allah will give me another child. I had thought that as soon as the child was finished, I would accuse Amina of deliberately harming her child. In this way, Kamal's heart would become sour towards Amina and he would leave her. Now, to complete this plan, I had brought pills from the pharmacy. I used to take great care of Amina in front of Kamal. Amina would also be happy, saying, Come on, mother-in-law, take care of me. I used to keep urging Amina to eat something all day long. Then as soon as night fell, I would put 3 pills in a glass of milk and give it to Amina. I was absolutely sure that taking these pills would end her pregnancy. Until then, I would give Amina milk. I kept giving him pills mixed together, but the surprising thing was that Amna's baby was thriving properly. Those pills were so powerful that even 2 weeks of use could harm the baby. It had only been a week. I thought, let's wait a little longer. Till then, I kept giving him 3 pills mixed in milk every night. One day, my neighbor came to pick me up from my house. She said, "Baji, come, I will take you to Baba's shrine. His amulet cures all kinds of knee pain." I was not doing any work. I was just sitting there. I picked up a sheet from the room, put it on my head, and went with Amna. I did not think it appropriate to tell her where I was going. While leaving, I had urged her to lock the big gate. I told her that I was going to the market. Amna nodded in agreement. I went with my neighbor to her sister's house. She also wanted to get an amulet for her knees. We spent a long time there drinking tea and water. The 3 of us had reached Baba's shrine. By then, evening was falling. As soon as Baba's wife saw Amina, she was coming out of Baba's shrine and entering. She had wrapped herself tightly in a black sheet, but I recognized her as soon as I saw her, but Amina's eyes did not fall on me. I was very surprised to see what she was trying to do. Amina's behavior was very suspicious. I was starting to fear that she might steal all the belongings from my house and run away somewhere. Even if I did, what would I do? Mirabita Kamal would go crazy in love with her. I now started giving Amina 6 pills in milk instead of 3 so that the story of the child would end quickly and I would lose my life. But Amina's health was not affected at all. She used to work all day long and go to the toilet several times a day, but I had also decided that I would expose Amina. I had thought that now, as soon as Amina I will go to Hachat. I will send Kamal after her so that she can see her wife's deeds with her own eyes. But Amina was also the only one of her name. She never left Kamal on Sundays. She would do chores but would not go to the roof. I asked Amina in front of Kamal, "What's the matter, son? Why aren't you worried today? You haven't made a single argument today." She smiled and said, "Mother, why would Kamal, who is at home, be worried today?" Kumar blushed with joy at her words. She had kept my son under her control by talking to him in such a charming way, but I was about to die after revealing her secret because I could no longer tolerate her in my house. It so happened that on Monday, when Kamal went to his work, I called him at around 12 o'clock and called him home. God forbid, as soon as Kamal came home, Amna had gone to the toilet. I told Kamal, "Go, son, call Amna from the toilet. I want to drink tea." Kamal got up smiling and went to the toilet. Kamal went to the toilet. It was not long before I heard Amna and Kamal arguing. I knew that she had been caught red-handed. When they both came down, Kamal said, "Mom, I will hand over Amna to you, but what is she doing going to the toilet in this condition? Why don't you stop her? This way, my child will be in danger." I told Kamal, "I have forbidden your wife 100 times but she doesn't know what it is that looks like on a dead body that she comes down." She knew it was Amina with a deep asterisk as if she had heard something bad. Meanwhile, 3 weeks had passed since I gave Amina pills mixed in milk. I was now starting to suspect. I gave Amina milk at night and left. In the morning, I went and searched her room and saw 2 bowls of milk. One bowl was the one in which I used to give Amina milk, but a new bowl was also lying there. I picked up the new bowl and put that bowl in a shopper, and after asking Amina to go to the market, I left the house. I went to Syed Halabartri. As soon as I went to the laboratory, I told him that I want a report on this milk, what was mixed in this milk. The report was supposed to come after an hour. I had spent this time with great difficulty, but when the report came to my hands, Mira Tosar was completely confused because the report clearly stated that the milk contains power syrup. The medicine that Mira Beta used to use. My son was having back pain, so the doctor had prescribed him Shakti Ka. This clearly meant that my daughter-in-law used to drink my son's Shakti Ka mixed with her milk, due to which she herself was becoming a daughter and did not get tired even after working all day. Her child was also thriving properly. Amna was not a simple, oppressed girl, but she turned out to be very smart. So smart that even I could not compete with her intelligence. But I still had Amna's keys, on the back of which I could get her to leave my house. When I returned home in the evening, I found Kamal writhing in anger. As soon as I reached home, Kamal started shouting at me. He said, "Mom, why did you try to end my child? You didn't feel any pity for me. I didn't like Amna, but that didn't mean you were trying to abort my first child. I didn't have any hope from you. You kept giving Amna pills mixed in her milk to abort the baby." I was dizzy after hearing Kamal's words. I started crying to protect myself. I told Kamal while crying that you are not ashamed to accuse your mother. Kamal looked at me and shook his head in the negative. Yadav started shouting, "Amy, it is not an accusation. I have a laboratory report in it. It has been proven that the milk you used to give Amna had pills in it. Why did you do this to me? I was very badly trapped, so I tried to turn the tables." I said quickly, "Kamal, your wife's character is not right. She goes to Hamid and hints at the boys. Apart from that, I saw Amna at Baba's doorstep. This is a sign that you are also lying in the chakras. You or your wife. Ask her." Amina said, "Auntie Baji, I am not a bad person. If you think that I go to the toilet and signal to the boys, then you are completely wrong. I used to signal to my neighbor. Najma aunt's daughter-in-law has become my friend. We met one day and she told me that her mother-in-law was also a very stubborn person like you. She also could not tolerate her daughter-in-law at home. So she went to Baba's shrine and got an amulet. After that, she would have children in her house and her mother-in-law would also be good. So I signaled her to go to Baba's shrine with me. I went to Hayat and signaled to her and knew her condition. That day, when she left the house saying that she was going to the market, I signaled to the neighbor and asked her to take me to the shrine with her. Mom, Kamal himself is the witness to all this. I had also told him about my neighbor and about going to Baba's shrine." Kamal smiled and said, "The amulet is for you. Don't get caught in the cycle of, Don. I thought I would forget her life, but because Amina turned out to be quite intelligent, she was obedient to you, shared everything with you, and did everything with your permission, that's why she was saved. If she had made friends with a neighbor who stole from you or gone to the shrine, her divorce would have been certain today." Then I folded my hands in front of Amina and Kamal and apologized. They forgave me, but I knew that the hair that had grown in their hearts for me would not be cleared up so quickly. That's why I spend most of my time in my room and ask Allah for forgiveness for my sins and pray to Him to make my Kamal the same as before.